At precisely 10:43 p.m., the decorated war hero had no inkling he was about to become a victim. Clint Bonnell was never meant to be a victim. Born in Dripping Springs, Texas, he was a natural standout. His sister Stephanie remembered him as a larger-than-life personality who loved people deeply, an athlete with an artistic soul, equally passionate about football, music, and theater. After working at Motorola following high school, everything shifted on September 11, 2001. Like thousands of young Americans, Clint watched the towers fall and felt an undeniable call to serve. Driven by patriotic duty, he left his civilian job and joined the Army. But Clint didn't just serve, he excelled. He became a Green Beret medic, one of the military's most elite soldiers, deploying multiple times around the globe. During a training assignment at an Oklahoma hospital, he met Shauna, a nurse who seemed to understand the demands of serving others. They eloped, and Clint embraced the role of stepfather to Shauna's 3-year-old daughter, Rosie. For the next 16 years, he was the only father she knew, teaching her to dance and sing, helping her prepare for beauty pageants, and steadfastly supporting her dreams. To the outside world, they appeared to be a stable military family. After more than 20 years of service and multiple deployments, Clint retired from Fort Bragg on December 31, 2024, eager for his next chapter. He had worked tirelessly to gain acceptance into Methodist University's physician assistant program, channeling his experience as a special forces medic into civilian healthcare. The transition was challenging, but Clint attacked his studies with military discipline. By his second semester, he had already been elected president of his cohort. At Methodist, he also rediscovered something that had been missing from his life for years: genuine happiness with Kelly Edwards, a yoga instructor who described him as happy-go-lucky and excited about the future. But there was a problem. His marriage to Shauna had been emotionally over for years, and he was finally ready to act. While Clint was building his new dream as a future physician assistant, Shauna was working in one of Virginia's most challenging environments, the Fluvanna Correctional Center for Women. Their 16-year marriage, once solid, had become a facade, with the two living essentially separate lives. Kelly Edwards, who later became Clint's girlfriend, quickly sensed something was amiss in his marriage. She noted that early on, he spoke little about his wife. "I just knew more about his daughter, how much he loved his daughter and all the things she'd brought to his life," she said. Shauna worked as a traveling nurse contractor at the Level 3 security facility, which housed around 1,200 female inmates, including some of Virginia's most dangerous criminals. It was demanding, high-stress work, providing medical care in an environment where violence and suffering were daily realities. Fluvanna had a troubled history, including lawsuits alleging inadequate medical care and a punitive culture among staff. For Shauna, daily exposure to violence and serious offenders may have fundamentally altered her perspective on problem-solving. To colleagues, she appeared competent and calm under pressure. But those closest to the couple could see the unraveling at home. According to court documents, Clint and Shauna had been emotionally separated for years while still legally married and sharing their home on Butler Nursery Road. Shauna also owned rental property in Troy, Virginia, near the prison, a property that would later become crucial in the murder investigation. She was building a stable career but was also monitoring Clint's communications, where she discovered evidence of his relationship with Kelly Edwards. The contrast between their worlds was stark. Clint surrounded by classmates and professors dedicated to healing, while Shauna was immersed in an environment of punishment and control. As he found hope and happiness in a new relationship, she was discovering that the husband she had shared 16 years with was planning to leave. Edwards explained that when she met Clint, he had already been consulting divorce attorneys for months. After trying to make a marriage work for a long time, he decided it was best to cut cords and move on. And so when I met him, he was already at that stage, she said. What Clint didn't realize was that Shauna wasn't thinking like someone seeking an amicable divorce. She was thinking like someone who wouldn't let go without a fight. January 27, 2025, was the day Clint Bonnell finally decided to take control of his life. That morning, he visited a lawyer's office to begin legally ending his marriage to Shauna Cloud. For him, it meant freedom, the chance to be honest about his relationship and start anew with Kelly Edwards. Afterward, Clint continued his normal routine, attending classes at Methodist University, studying for an upcoming exam, and visiting the Fit for Life gym on Owen Drive, where both he and Shauna worked out. Records show they were at the gym simultaneously around 1:55 p.m., though they left separately. From the gym, Clint drove to Methodist University to study, typical behavior for someone known for his dedication. As cohort president, he took his academic responsibilities seriously. After studying, he returned home to the house on Butler Nursery Road. Cell phone records would later confirm he arrived that evening and never left alive. That night, Clint chose to tell Shauna about his visit to the lawyer. It was a conversation he had likely dreaded, but as someone who valued honesty, he felt it was right. Shauna's reaction, however, wasn't what he had hoped. According to court documents, this confrontation became the catalyst for what followed. At some point that evening, Clint sent his final text to Kelly Edwards. "I told her about the divorce. Good night." It was meant as a simple update. What Clint didn't know was that by telling Shauna, he had triggered a plan she had apparently been considering for some time. The conversation meant to bring freedom had instead sealed his fate. When Clint Bonnell failed to appear for class on January 28, 2025, alarm bells sounded at Methodist University. By 2:58 p.m., with Clint still absent and unreachable, a university employee contacted the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office to request a welfare check. For someone as dedicated as Clint, missing class was unheard of. Deputies found Clint's car in the driveway. Inside the house were his car keys, wallet, school backpack, reading glasses, and other personal items, everything suggesting he hadn't left voluntarily. But Clint was gone. Shauna Cloud met the deputies with a plausible, yet carefully constructed story. She claimed she hadn't seen her husband since the previous day at the gym, and that his car was simply there when she woke up. Suspiciously, despite her husband's mysterious disappearance, she declined to file a missing person report. That evening at 9:19 p.m., the sheriff's office received another welfare check request, this time from Kelly Edwards. Edwards knew something was terribly wrong. She and Clint communicated frequently, and she hadn't heard from him since his goodnight text. When she called 911, her panic was palpable. Unlike Shauna, Edwards immediately filed a formal missing person report. The case was quickly assigned to the Major Crimes Unit, and by January 30th, it had been reassigned to homicide, a rapid escalation, suggesting investigators suspected the worst. The investigation soon revealed inconsistencies in Shauna's story. While she maintained she hadn't seen Clint, evidence pointed elsewhere. On January 31st, deputies returned to search the Bonnell home thoroughly. What they found shattered any hope. Clint's backpack and laptop, both with bullet holes, clear evidence of violence inside the home Shauna claimed was undisturbed. On February 1st, investigators expanded the search to Virginia, where Shauna owned rental property near the Fluvanna Correctional Center. With help from Virginia State Police, they executed search warrants on her vehicle, property, and cell phone. The search yielded critical evidence, including Shauna's phone and other items. During questioning, Shauna admitted she and Clint had argued about a note from his girlfriend. Throughout February, investigators obtained warrants for digital data, cell records, video footage, and devices. The data painted a devastating timeline. Cell records proved Clint had returned home on January 27th and never left alive. Shauna's phone, however, revealed her movements after the murder. On January 29th, digital evidence showed Shauna had traveled to a pond on Gay Road, about 3 miles from their home. She stopped for 15 minutes, positioning herself roughly 60 feet from where Clint's dismembered remains would later be found. Video evidence also placed her in the area where his torso was recovered. The GPS data and surveillance created an unbreakable chain linking her to the disposal site. The evidence was overwhelming. Bullet holes matching wound patterns, digital trails leading to the body, and Shauna's own admissions. On February 25, 2025, a homeowner on the 42,000 block of Gay Road made a haunting discovery: human remains floating in a pond behind their house. It was a dismembered torso, no arms, legs, or head. The location matched where Shauna's cell phone had pinged on January 29th. The scene was so gruesome that veteran investigators described it as one of the most disturbing they had ever encountered. The remains were sent to the North Carolina State Medical Examiner's office. A DNA profile was created and forwarded to the Armed Forces Medical Examiner system for comparison with Clint's military records. The process took weeks, leaving his family in agony. Stephanie Firkins, Clint's sister, later recalled her reaction. "When I heard part of him was found in the pond, in my gut, I knew it was him." On March 28, 2025, the Armed Forces Medical Examiner system confirmed their fears. The DNA matched Clint and Bonnell. That same day, Shauna Cloud was arrested at her residence and charged with first-degree murder and concealment of death. The autopsy revealed the full horror. Clint had been shot 4 times in the upper and lower back, each bullet exiting through his chest, the trajectory suggesting he was lying down or caught off guard. But the shooting was only the beginning. After his death, Clint's body had been dismembered with what appeared to be a mechanical saw, a precision indicating medical knowledge, exactly the kind Shauna possessed as a nurse. Cumberland County District Attorney Billy West described the case as horrific. The discovery provided the physical evidence to corroborate the digital and circumstantial case. On March 31, 2025, Shauna Lee Cloud made her first appearance in Cumberland County District Court, facing charges that could bring the death penalty. The courtroom was charged with emotion as Stephanie Firkins sat in the front row, finally facing the woman she believed killed her brother. Behind her sat Rosie Cloud, Shauna's 19-year-old daughter, torn between loyalty to her mother and grief for the man who raised her. Shauna appeared calm, showing little emotion. District Attorney Billy West laid out the devastating case. Digital proof she was near the body dump site, video evidence placing her there, bullet holes in Clint's belongings matching his wounds. Defense attorney James McCrae argued for bond, calling Shauna a model citizen who had cooperated with law enforcement. "She very much loves her husband," McCrae said, a statement that seemed surreal given the charges. But Judge Francis McDuffie Britt was unmoved. Citing the heinous nature of Clint's death, she declared, "This is a capital murder case, no bond." As of December 2025, Shauna Cloud remains in the Cumberland County Detention Center, awaiting trial for capital murder. The case against her appears overwhelming, yet no legal outcome can undo the devastation of Clint and Bonnell's death. Stephanie Firkins continues to grapple with the loss. "The fact that he is gone is something I think about every single morning until I go to bed," she said. "Life completely changed for everybody in our family. It will never be the same." The family still cannot hold a funeral as the investigation continues. Perhaps the most tragic figure is Rosie Cloud, who lost the only father she ever knew. According to her mother's attorney, she does not believe Shauna is involved, leaving her trapped between loyalty and overwhelming evidence. For Clint's family, Stephanie posted, "Clint was an incredible human who sacrificed so much for others. To be taken from us prematurely at the hands of evil will never be understood." The Green Beret who survived combat deployments around the world could not survive the threat within his own home. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you can be the first to hear about such real-life stories.